Welcome to the Big Success Show. Today, how debt can springboard you to wealth. Brought to you by financialfreedomtool.com.
Tips to be your best with the professor and Mary-Lynn for your big success.
Mary-Lynn, I just saw a study that talked about household debt. So household debt here in America is 8% higher than the all-time record in the most recent quarter.
That's not a record that we want to break, is it?
No, but it just goes to show you, if you're in debt, you're not alone. There's a lot of people in debt right now. So that's what we want to talk about today, is how you can get out of debt and actually turn this debt into a springboard for wealth.
So turning lemons into lemonade.
Hey, there you go, Mary-Lynn. That's exactly right. Hi, I'm George Kruger, the professor.
And I'm Mary-Lynn. So debt, there's good debt, there's bad debt. What's the difference?
Well, we tend to think of debt as bad, right? And that's not necessarily, or that's not always the case. Debt is a tool, and it can be used for our good. Matter of fact, if you really want to get wealth, most people who've gotten wealth have used debt. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about debt in our own personal finances. And debt in our personal finances is actually kind of a bad thing, because we have to pay for whatever we use this debt for. Let's say we used it for a brand new nice TV. That's all cool, right? Mm-hmm. But we're paying now for that TV. We're also paying for the interest on that TV, on that money. Mm-hmm. And so debt can be looked at in that sense as a bad thing, because our return is zero, and yet we have a cost associated with it. We're getting deep in the weeds here. Let's just put it this way. Today, what we're going to talk about is how you can turn debt to your advantage. And you're able to do that because you're used to making these debt payments. And so you've actually got an advantage over someone who's not used to making those debt payments. We'll talk more about that here in just a minute.
And we want to let you know about a free resource that we have. It's called How to Get Out of Debt in 3 Easy Steps. It's a simple plan, and it'll help you do exactly what we're going to be talking about today. Just get it at Big Success. That's big with 2 G's, success.com. And so today we are going to share an example about how bad debt can work for good. And as you said, Professor, how it can springboard you to wealth. So let's look at an example. The professor is on his way to the virtual whiteboard. So that means that we're really getting serious here.
That's right. So picture the first column, and it's got loans at the top of it. And then it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that means we've got 5 loans. Okay. All right. And then in the second column, we're going to write down balances. So the second column says balances. So I tried to make this real simple to visualize. Loan 1 has a balance of $100. Mm-hmm. Loan 2 has a balance of $200. Loan 3, Mary-Lynn, has a balance of $300. You got it. And then we go all the way up to loan 5, which has a balance.
500. Okay.
Right. So we've got $500 at the top. So the total of all these loans, the total in debt that this person is $1,500, $1,500. So we got a little sum at the end of at the bottom of column 2. Okay. We're just made it real simple. The interest rate on all of these loans is 10%. It's the same on every one. Okay. Because I can do 10% in my head, Mary-Lynn. That's the real secret here.
I appreciate that.
So the third column then will be the payments on these loans. So now think about this. Loan 1 had a $100 balance, 10% interest, which means our payment is $10. Loan 2 has a $200 balance. The interest is 10%. Payment is equal to $20.
Okay.
Then 30, 40, 50. Mm-hmm. There you go. And so now what we see is our payment is equal to the interest cost. All right. And so this is working. The credit cards don't exactly work like this, but it's real close. You ever notice, like, you pay the minimum balance and then you get your balance on the next statement and it seems like it didn't really go down much.
Yeah.
That's because most of that minimum payment is interest cost.
Right.
And then they got just a little bit, but they're going to get you out of debt like in 5 years or something like that, as opposed to maybe trying for you to accelerate that and get out of debt sooner. So there we're all set up. Okay, we've got 5 loans, which total $1,500. We have in those 5 loans a 10% interest cost. So that means we have a payment of $150 total on this whole group of debt. Okay?
Now, and here's the good news. All you have to do is find $10 in your budget, just $10 to take care of this debt. We call this freedom money.
That's right, because it's going to help you get free, not just from debt.
How is this? This is some newfangled math. If $10 is going to take care of my $1,500 in debt.
So picture this. You're going to take the $10 of freedom money, that $10 that you've got set aside now. Okay, here's my $10. I found it. You're going to add that to your payment for loan number one. Okay, so loan number one, your payment was $10. You're going to add $10 to that. You're going to make a payment of $20.
Wow.
You're going to do that
The
month.
credit card company's going to say, what? She's overpaying. But not technically overpaying.
Right. You're
but
just actually now
I'm
you're
paying above the minimum.
You're paying the principal. You know,
Right.
there's interest, but then there's principal. And that's what we want to get rid of. We want to get rid of that principal because if we get rid of the principal, we don't have to pay interest. Okay?
Right.
It's just that simple. Now, I wish I'd have known that about the principal at my high school. No, we're talking about a different kind of principal here. But the thing is, we're going to keep making that $20 payment until loan one has a balance of $0. Okay? Now then, here's where the magic comes in. We're going to roll that entire payment, the $10 we had been paying, plus the $10 of freedom money, $20 payment. We're going to take that $20 and we're going to add it to the payment for loan number two. Now, if you remember, loan number two had a balance of 200. So we're going to now be applying, or we had a payment of $20 before, now we're going to have a payment of $40.
Right.
And so we're going to pay on loan two until we get it paid off. Then we're going to do the same thing for loan three. We're going to do the same thing for loan four. We're going to do the same thing for loan five. And if we do this, what you're going to find is with the credit cards, if we just pay that minimum balance, it'd probably take us 5 years or more of payments to get it paid off. This is going to get you out of debt. Under these conditions, you'd be out of debt in 2 years and a month.
Wow.
Totally out of debt.
Wow.
Okay?
That all started with $10.
With $10.
All right, so coming up, we're going to talk about how to go from paying off debt to creating wealth after these words from our sponsor, financialfreedomtool.com.
Do you stress over money? Who doesn't? Let the Financial Freedom Tool ease your mind by pinpointing opportunities to improve your financial picture. Take control so you feel empowered to move ahead with confidence. Learn more at financialfreedomtool.com.
Today, we're talking about how debt can be a springboard to wealth. And we just went through an example, and George, the professor, showed us how we can start using just $10 of freedom money and snowball that $10 to be able to get our debt paid off.
Yep.
And so then now we're ready to go to creating wealth. Tell us what the next step is.
We're debt free, right?
Yeah.
No, here's the magic. Here's where we're saying it's actually an advantage. Can be an advantage if you use it.
Debt can
if you use it to your
advantage.
advantage. Yes, debt can be an advantage because now what we're going to do is we're used to making all these debt payments, right? Mm-hmm. We're going to take that entire debt payment and we're going, so $150. Mm-hmm. We're going to roll it into investing. Okay, so we're going to now start investing it. So nothing changes in our finances. We just keep making that payment as if we still had debt. But the thing is, you know who we're paying?
Ourselves.
That's right,
yes.
Mary-Lynn. And so the thing is here, month after month after month, you're making this investment and your money starts working for you. Your money becomes your employee. It's working for you and your nest egg just grows and grows and grows.
So how long does it take to start seeing some results?
Okay, so now first, let me just kind of give a little bit of a caveat. We're talking about, keep in mind, $10. But we were talking about $1,500 a debt.
But $10 that grew to $150, and then that $150 we started now investing.
Yes, but just understand, we were talking about payments of $10, $20, $30, a total of $1,500 of debt, right?
Right.
The point is, if your debt is $15,000, you probably need to be trying to find $100. Okay, I just want everybody to understand that this is all kind of relative. Okay, so $10 is true. $10 will make a difference no matter what. But if you can find more, so much the better.
Are you saying maybe 10%?
Possibly, yes.
Okay.
But I mean, even if you just use the simple numbers we've shared today, and you were to say, okay, what am I as a multiple of that? Okay, so like if I'm $30,000, you can see where that's 2 times 1,500. Okay, maybe I need $20 instead of $10. Okay, so it's really kind of a handy little point of reference to help you figure out, okay, how much money do I need to really kind of get the kind of situation going that we're talking about here. Now, keep in mind, though, your numbers, if you did that, your numbers are going to be even bigger than the numbers we talk about for your wealth. Okay, and I think you'll agree with me, these aren't bad numbers, so let's look at it. So first of all, loan one is paid off in 8 months. So you get that first loan paid off in 8 months. But then the magic really starts happening. You're completely paid off in 2 years and a month. Okay? All your debt's gone in 2 years and a month.
So you knock down one, and before you know it, 2, 3, 4, and 5 were all gone.
Yes.
Okay.
And so then 5 years from today, if you started doing this today, 5 years from today, assuming an 8% return, which is, that's a little bit aggressive, but not terribly aggressive. We're saying you can invest your money and get 8% on it. That's by historical standards, not pretty close, maybe even a little bit on the conservative
That's
side.
better than losing 15% in interest or
That's right.
whatever, you know what I mean?
So 5 years from today, in other words, 3 years after you're out of debt, 5 years from today, your nest egg would be $6,200, a little bit over, $6,234. Wow. Okay? 10 years, it'd grow to over $20,000. 30 years, your $10 a month investment, the $10 change in lifestyle would be $189,366.
Wow.
And keep in mind, it all started, these numbers are all based on finding $10.
Wow.
That you just change your lifestyle by $10 and then just do that month after month after month. And guess what? You'll soon be a big success.
And that brings us to today's big takeaway.
And I hope this one's obvious, Mary-Lynn, but here it is. Little changes lead to big success.
Be sure to grab your copy of our 3-step get out of debt plan. It'll help you put what we've talked about today into action. You'll find that along with the show notes from today's podcast by going to Big Success, that's big with 2 G's, success.com.
We thank you so much for listening today.
Until next time,
here's to your big success.
Tips to be your best with the Professor and Mary-Lynn for your big success.
Find big success at biggsuccess.com.